with Alex Cosper and Sam Kadur and Mike Halloran, and somewhere in the building's Max Tolkoff.
Somewhere in the building is Max Tolkoff. So tell me, you have guests coming up in a few weeks. You've got a bunch of X91X people.
That's right. Next week it's Rob Tonkin, and he did promotions at 91X.
He did?
Till when? What, 90s or 80s, late 80s?
I'm thinking late 80s, and he left.
And then Dwight Arnold took over, right? Dwight Arnold, who almost was going to be interviewed on the show, and then at the last minute you became the guest.
And then
you've been here ever since. Actually, this is your third week in a row, right?
Get your headphones.
You can't talk. You can't
Max,
talking about 91X.
every week we talk about 91X.
We're all incorrect about all the timelines.
So let me prep you, Alex.
Yeah.
And he can prep you in his own way for the Rob Tonkin thing, because Rob was like the first full-on California, because you're not from California, Tolkoff.
That is correct.
And when I got here, Rob was like,
New York, right?
Rob was like this kind of like, hey, this is how we do things.
Yeah.
This is when I learned do you remember how many stickers you guys printed every year at 91X?
No, I don't. Do you?
Rob told me about 1 million 91X stickers got done almost every year, because Rob was one of the first guys to do the sticker backs that were sponsored by everybody from, record companies to, obviously you were part of that, right? You would put coupons in the back of stickers?
Yeah. Well, look, first of all, Rob, before he was doing 91X, he was attached to the Mighty 690.
I did not know that.
He was the promo guy for the Mighty 690. And so every time they
Jeff
did
Hunter was programmed.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Who I worked
there's
for
a
at
voice out of
Quad
the
in
past.
Sacramento.
Did you really?
Yes.
Before he came down here?
No, after.
After, yeah.
Yeah, that was, I was 84 to 89 in the top 40 era, and that's when
Right.
he was PD in that time.
Yeah, he had left. So anyway, Rob Tonkin was the guy. He was like he wasn't even like the head of promotions. He was sort of like the intern guy that did all the contesting stuff for the Mighty 690.
Right.
In fact, when before we changed formats, I might have been pre-Rob. Yeah, before Rob, there was another guy, Tim. What was his name? Oh,
McGillicuddy?
I can't remember his name. It was before Rob.
Quonset.
Anyway, I went up to L.A. one time and did one of those, I sat by the phone booth. You had to run to a phone booth and call in to win money. And I was the guy in a car staking out the phone booth, waiting to see if anybody came to the phone booth to get the $1,000. They would call a particular phone booth in L.A. because the Mighty 690 had a huge audience in LA. Sorry, I should back up. The Mighty 690 was a big station in San Diego.
AM Top 40 radio
Right, AM Top 40, and they were huge in LA. At one point, they had a 2-share in LA. They had a separate sales office. Rob worked at that sales office in Los Angeles for a long time. So they had a presence in LA as well as San Diego. It was crazy. And then they closed the sales office. Rob came down and became our
that's how
guy.
Kevin Stapleford got into radio, was because of Jeff Hunter. They worked together. They weren't even in radio yet, and Jeff Hunter ran a record store, whereas Kevin Stapleford next door had a toy shop or worked in a toy shop.
What?
And they met
I remember stories about Kevin working at a toy shop. I do remember.
You do remember that?
I do.
That's how they met each other.
He graduated. He went to UCSD, and then he answered phones for us.
I think you went to.
I read this from Kevin Stapleford's own writing in our magazine.
Okay, so let's go back. So Kevin at one point, I don't know if we brought this up, interned at KROQ for like one weekend when he was going to, it was either UCLA or USC, I can't remember which. He got into one of those schools to do something.
Yeah, he got into UCLA first for a year, then went to
UCSD.
Yes.
Okay, so when he was at UCLA, one of my favorite weird stories is not working?
No.
Is that he went in interned for a KROQ jock who shall remain nameless. There he goes. Yeah, it's the cable.
Yeah.
I would tighten it more. Maybe that would help.
Yeah, just push it in more. Now talk on it.
Hello.
Okay.
Modern technology.
Don't keep messing with it. So Kevin goes to intern at KROQ. This is one of my favorite stories because it just shows you that some people have memories that will outlast everything. Yeah. So what he does is he goes in and interns, and whatever the KROQ jock who shall remain nameless, let's just call him Dr. X just for the hell of it. So Dr. X is in the studio. Dr. X says, "Hey, intern, go get me a cup of coffee. Hey, intern, go do this. Hey, intern, do this." So Kevin was trying to learn about radio, and this guy basically just didn't teach him anything. So the next week he didn't show up. And the guy, "Hey, where are you at, man? Blah, 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 blah." And he goes, "I'm not learning anything. I'm not coming in there." Fast forward to 89, 90, whatever it was, when they named Kevin program director.
Yeah, right.
Of
when Max left for Boston, right?
no, it was when Trip left.
Hang
Oh,
on.
right,
No, no, hang on.
Oh, you're right. He knows the story. Let Max
let me
tell the
finish.
story.
Let me finish the story first.
Okay.
So
You can't tell. You got to have your historical. You got to have historical accuracy here.
let me go back. So Kevin and I are sitting there, and I get a phone call because this is all pre-email.
Right.
I get a phone call, and it's Dr. X calling me, and I knew him because I'd worked at KROQ in '88 after Kevin had interned there.
What shift did you do at KROQ?
I produced the morning show, and I filled in whenever.
Okay.
I'd fill in for the
All right.
vacationing.
So you lived in
Richard-
LA or you
Richard Blake.
commuted?
I lived in LA.
Okay.
I actually lived in the middle of freaking nowhere.
You went back and forth.
I
didn't
did.
you?
But
Yeah.
the point is that Dr. X calls up and goes, "Hey, Halloran, Dr. X." And I'm like, "Hey, what's going on, dude? Hey, look, I just wanted to say, do you have any part-time openings?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Let me go ask Kevin, see if there's anything." I said, "Have you ever met Kevin Stapleford?" He goes, "No, I don't know who the guy is." I go, "Okay." So I go and I say, "Kevin, there's this guy. I don't know if you remember him. His name is Dr. X, and he wants to come down and do some weekend stuff." And Kevin goes, "Let me tell you about Dr. X."
What was wrong with him? What happened? Why? What?
Dr. X was the guy who Kevin went to intern for at KROQ
And didn't learn anything.
and didn't learn anything because he basically
And now he wants a job from
and now
Kevin.
he wants from Kevin. And so I called Dr. X back on the phone about an hour later after getting the whole download from Kevin about how, and it's fucking, he's a very funny storyteller. He really is. He has these ways of putting you into the situation where you're in the control room and he's talking about like how this is not happening. And then I go back to my office and I call, hey, Dr. X, do you remember an intern years ago at KROQ that showed up for 1 week? He was a UCLA student and he showed up for 1 week and you were ordering him around to get coffee and the next week he didn't show up. He goes, "Oh, I did that to all of them." And I go, "Well, one of those guys is the guy you're asking for a job from." And he goes, "Kevin interned for me?" And I said, "Yeah, for 1 week. But he didn't want to get you coffee anymore, so he basically said, fuck it." So here's the bottom line. You're not going to get the job because he just doesn't like you.
That's what it comes down to.
And that's what it kind of comes down
sometimes.
to. Sometimes you got to be nice to people.
Yeah.